This is our second video in Module 1. This deals with what's referred to as the equilibrium point, where we put a supply curve and a demand curve on the same piece of paper. Now remember how we created the demand curve. We called up a bunch of consumers and asked them what they would do, if the product or service was a certain price. To create the supply curve, let's say for the sweatshirts, we could have called up or gathered information from the supplier industry. The key point about the equilibrium point is the point that they meet just is a coincidence. It's a coincidence of the phenomenon known as supply just happening to meet with the phenomenon known as demand. My definition of the equilibrium point is the quantity at which, let me change that, the price at which the quantity demanded by consumers just happens to equal the quantity suppliers are willing to supply. It's a coincidence because we surveyed different entities, consumers versus suppliers, to get this information. Now let's say the marketplace price is not at the equilibrium price. Let's pretend that the marketplace price happens to be below the equilibrium price. Does the world stop spinning? Does the retailer go out of business? Do the suppliers go out of business? No, no, and no. But let's see what happens. At a price below the equilibrium price, look at the supply curve. The quantity suppliers are willing to supply is only about 1,500. The equilibrium quantity is about 2,500. So suppliers are not going to be willing to supply as much. On the other hand, look where that price point crosses the demand curve. The demand from consumers is going to be higher than the equilibrium quantity. It's about 3,300. So what will the store notice? The store will notice the shelves are empty. They can't get any more from suppliers. Meanwhile, consumers are demanding more and more at this great price. So what will happen? The clerk in the sweatshirt department will call up his boss and say, we need more sweatshirts. The sweatshirt manufacturer will say, sorry, I can't produce anymore. I'm already booked up for this week's production. What will the store manager say? We'll be willing to pay you to work overtime. So at a higher price, more supply will become available. To cover his higher cost from the supplier, the store manager will do what with his price? He'll raise the price. And the same phenomenon would keep occurring. It's not a scientific exercise. Most likely, the store manager and the supplier will overshoot the equilibrium point. So now let's talk about if the price is above the equilibrium point. If the price is above the equilibrium point, the quantity supplied will be a very big number. The quantity demanded at a higher price will be a much lower number. What do we call it when the quantity supplied is higher than the quantity demanded? Now we have a surplus. What will the store manager do when he sees sweatshirts lying all over the store and the back room filled with sweatshirts? He'll tell the department clerk to put them on sale. Now the price will start going in the other direction. And the whole process will reverse itself. This is called a self-equilibrating process.